some anticipation, and there could even be a sell on the news. But the fundamentals, we put out a Bitcoin monthly piece every month, and you can see the health of the network using our on-chain metrics. The health of the network is almost as good as it gets, and it seems like this is a bull market.
On November 9, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, is said to have a Grayscale Investments conversion of its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust product is one of the 12 spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund ETF filings that the SEC needs to approve by November 17th. However, even if the SEC approves the spot Bitcoin ETF by November 17th, it could be more than a month before the product goes on sale. The P of Gary Gensler, she said that because this is a decentralized open network where all activity can be seen, it's very unlikely to be hacked. Gary Gensler knows this because he taught a crypto and blockchain course at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology before becoming chair of the SEC. Cathie Wood talks about the ETF approval process and how it will affect the economy as a whole. She also talks about why the process may take longer than expected. Watch the movie.
Rehearsal. We think there's a place. I think these strategies will be more probably institutionally focused, and I think the spot coin Bitcoin ETF will be perhaps more retail focused.
Is that something you want to do eventually?
A spot Bitcoin?
Yes.
Yes. What's interesting about it is, if you look at the pecking order, our filing is next in line.
No, I know you're on the list. So
yes.
the question. So let me ask you about that.
Change is that the SEC actually asked us questions. I think asked us questions, asked BlackRock, probably has asked a lot. Whereas before, our filings were just rejected outright. Hand.
Okay.
So that is movement. That is significant. And, you know, over the years, I've gotten to know the research people at the SEC, and I'm very impressed. And I was impressed by the questions they asked us, too. So.
What were the kinds of questions they asked?
A lot of them were very technical. They're all about protecting the consumer. And, you know, of course, the showstopper, at least from Gary Gensler's point of view, is he thinks Bitcoin can be manipulated. And, you know, this is a decentralized, transparent network. You can follow all the activity online. It's highly unlikely.
Well, it had to be that because he understands.
In the Treasury Secretary position at some point. What does the Treasury Secretary do?
Protecting fiat for the government?
I mean, very focused on. I don't know. I don't understand it myself, because he definitely understands.
He understands. So there's something else.
There's something.
Okay, but how much do you?
Some anticipation, and there could even be a sell on the news. But the fundamentals, we put out a Bitcoin monthly piece every month, and you can see the health of the network using our on-chain metrics. The health of the network is almost as good as it gets. And it seems like this is a bull market. Sure, we'll have puts and takes. Nothing goes straight up. But I think this flight to quality, Larry Fink used that expression. We call it flight to safety. You look at what happened during the regional bank crisis. Bitcoin went from 19,000 to nearly 30,000 as the KRE, the regional bank stock index, was imploding. If you look at the bank stock index today, it is back down close to where it was in March. So when Larry might say flight to quality, which is good, it's true, we would say flight to safety, because there's no counterparty risk in Bitcoin, performer longer term. But this is a diversified exposure through equities. There are companies. You know, we're trying to find the company that is going to produce the digital wallet. That will be a very important position. Is it Coinbase? Is it Square with Cash App? Is it Robinhood? In Latin America, is it Mercado Libre or Nubank? So
how much
those
overlap is there?
Probably the biggest overlap would be ARKF, the fintech portfolio. Yes.
You just mentioned a number of companies.
That each of them has a very good opportunity in the digital wallet space. Basically, if you think about WeChat Pay, that kind of digital wallet where all financial services take place, there's peer-to-peer interaction, there's commerce over it. we believe that the rails in the United States have been good enough,
right?
But WeChat Pay showed the way, and I think we have absolutely, and I think he's got big plans. Absolutely, he started in the fintech space, and of course sold out to PayPal. So, yeah.
I mean, Cathie, on Coinbase, I used to go down and I had like 4 pages of coins that.
As much on Ether, Ethereum as we have, as we think, that is the smart contract network. That is the decentralized finance network.
So Bitcoin and Ether, anything beyond that?
Well, there are infrastructure players. Solana is doing a really good job. I mean, if you look at Ether was faster and cheaper than Bitcoin in the day. That's how we got Ether. Solana is even faster and cost-effective than Ether. So, there are infrastructure plays. We do believe Web3, digital assets. That's a big idea, actually. Digital assets with property rights. First time ever online that we're seeing property rights.
Do you think that some bears with Bitcoin have said, okay, there will be a Bitcoin 2.0 that someone comes up with?
I think most people understand that Bitcoin is the money revolution. This is the first global.
A lot of people don't understand that because they haven't read anything about it.
Right, private, so no government oversight. Digital, very important, rules-based monetary system in history. And Art Laffer, my professor, mentor, and friend, when we did our first paper on and took our first position in Bitcoin in 2015, when he understood what this was, he said, I've been waiting for this since they closed the gold window in 1971.
Market is getting more excited about a spot ETF for Bitcoin funds that held high amounts of Bitcoin. Bitree Crypto's slate named Toe Market Excitement Winner Watcher says that 8,634,347,422 was worth $11.23 billion last week, up from 20,000 in October. Euro has 871,341.69 for $198 million and $17.25 million in Bitcoins. Bitree CEO Charlie Morris said the rise in value showed more buyers wanted safe places, which was echoed by Grayscale CEO Michael Sunshine. Now that the 10 years are over, we're ready for the big show. Because Sean didn't say anything about Bitcoin in his message, the crypto community thinks it was a typo. Approval of the Bitcoin ETF Bitcoin went up to $38,000 and Ether traded above $2,000 after the SEC gave a good approval estimate. This made the market more stable. Jesse, an ETF expert and financial counselor, thinks approval will happen this week. According to James Card of Bloomberg, the SEC has 8 days to receive submissions, but the limit is November 17, 2023. We agree with Cart's prediction that Bitcoin will reach $37,000 on November 9, 2023. Blockchain.com reached a new annual revenue record for Bitcoin mining. Jersey posted a picture that shows most people think the SEC will release Bitcoin ETFs and groups so as not to look bad in a competitive market. Investors have been vying for a long time for a Bitcoin ETF, which the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is likely to approve. A well-known Bitcoiner named Lane Castleman, as transaction fees went up and more people used Bitcoin, sales went up. This time, non-fungible tokens, NFTs, helped Bitcoin mining bring in $41,740,000 in May 2023. Spike then does the Bitcoin ETF delay look like it was caused by politics. Leave a comment, like, follow, and set alerts.